Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are all of you today?
Very good, thank you.
Phenomenal you are. Phenomenal you are. And you must remember that. Today I would like to just talk to you just a little bit about timekeeping. And what is timekeeping in this day and time? Each of us always think about what we have to do, when we have to do it, how we're going to do it. We're always in that mode of, I gotta do this. If I don't get it done, listen, it's not that important. You take time for the moment. You enjoy what is here now and present. Time, as it were, became important only to people who were filled with nothing else to do except to watch, wait, and try to figure out when the next thing's coming. Anticipation, you know, the Heinz ketchup, anticipation. Spirit, we don't have to anticipate. Spirit is always with us. And we need to utilize that time with Spirit. We need to think about the fact that there is magic in ordinary time. There is magic in what you do each and every moment. When you first see a young child, you look at it and you say, well, it has all its fingers, it has all its toes, it's a perfect baby. The magic, though, comes when the child looks up at you with those little eyes and they just touch your heart. That's an important point. That's utilizing that moment. As we are spiritualists, we have to move into the realm of creating for ourselves a life that is happy, that's joyous, that makes us want to do what we need to do. And needing to do means being kind to one another. As our principles say, we do unto others as we'd like to have done unto us. We have to remember, though, we can't just sit on our laurels and be happy. We've always got to explore that little area that is unknown to us. Fear is a dangerous thing. So we want to keep fear out of this. We want to know that when we walk in the darkness, whatever that darkness is, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. We don't worry about whether that darkness comes because the sun went down, or because the shades are down, or because we are in enclosed walls. Because we know that when we are dealing with spirit, the one thing that we have in our favor is, quote, time. I'm not particularly a timekeeper, but I do like to be on time. When I do some of the stuff I do, and I don't know who that person was that Jeannie was talking about, or Malert was talking about, but in any case, sometimes I find myself looking at various resources within the community and within that group of people that need to have support to get through their trying times. I found the book by Mitch Arbrom called The Timekeeper. It's really kind of a book that you'd like to read. It's the kind of book that you need to know that no matter what you do in life, those around you make a difference. But even better than that, you can make a difference for them. You don't have time again to sit on your laurels and pat yourself on the back for all that you've done and all that you plan to do and all the successes that you had. The important thing is that you share it. And sharing knowledge is the most important thing in time. If you don't share it while you have it, if you don't share it when you first get it, it becomes old, it becomes stagnant. It has no more meaning. It doesn't have value even. You have to be up to the moment. In this day and time, technology is an important thing for each and every one of us. It does move faster than we move. If you don't believe me, think about it. Snail mail versus email. Text versus blah, blah, blah. Those are all today's things. But time ever moves forward. And if you are to progress, then you have to move forward. You have to be a seeker of truth. You can't just let it creep up on you. You can't do that. In this book, The Timekeeper, the one thing that's important about it is that it starts talking about, how many of you are from other religions prior to here, spiritual? Okay, good. Then I can talk to you a little bit, and I'm not preaching the Bible or anything like that, but I must tell you this. In the book of Genesis, they talk about the Tower of Babel, the timekeeper. There were 3 young people who moved in the same circles as friends, as schoolmates. And each one had its own path to walk. However, there was one, and you always have one, even in churches. You got the one who stands out like a sore thumb. There was this one person in this story who would measure everything. Use sticks, so lay sticks at the end of each other to see how long something was. Or to stand a stick in the sand and watch the sun set and move about. Most of you remember those little time things you see in the parks and stuff. But then it became more important than anything else in the world, even the mother and the father and the family. Time became the issue for that one person. But that sore thumb had to figure out what was right and what was wrong. Making it in another way, when the Tower of Babel was completed, or at least it was tall enough, this young man counted as he ran up the tower. That was what the problem was. He was counting. He was not paying attention. And in time, you have to pay attention. Everything that you learn is important. It can be measured by how well you pay attention. If you sit in circle, if you walk the path of spiritualism, truth, honesty, integrity, and love, you don't have time to find fault. You don't have time to be the thing that causes people not to grow. You want to make sure that that hole in the middle of the road isn't really meant for you. You want to make sure that you are helping people to progress. You've explored, now you know. You've gone into the depths. And you come out a changed person. Because 1, you paid attention. 2, you heard a voice that you'd not heard before. Speaking to your heart. Because if it doesn't speak to your heart, it has no value. You don't do anything unless it speaks to your heart. And you've got to always answer the call, no matter what that call is. I'm not saying that the road is easy. I'm saying that you have to step up and find out what time is bringing to you. There is a message. And yes, you have a path, but you have to make sure that you walk it daily. Don't sway that path, because when you start swaying, you crash and burn. You got to stay on target. Stay on point, as they say. I'm not too good with the young people's vernacular these days, but I understand stay on point. I understand. Watch what you say and how you say it. Because if you don't, you wind up time that you have. Enjoy every moment because it's of the essence. It's the smallest point of joy, of love. I had a conversation with a friend. We talked about rapture. Well, what do you mean by rapture? Well, her explanation didn't make sense to me. But this is my explanation of rapture. When you become wrapped up, tied up, and understanding spirit and using it wherever you move and however you move, you become so overjoyed. There is that thing that just causes you to beam all around and all over. That's rapture to me. Do you have rapture today? What's your purpose in life today? Are you ready to move in the circles that you need to move to change this world to the kind of world that you want it to be? Are you happy with this world as it is now? Are you happy with your community, your church, your home? Are you happy with your relationship? Conversation needs to open up. You need to talk. You need to know that what is in here has to be connected to what's up there. And up there means the higher self. You. If your higher self is sick, heal it. By finding the truth, seek the truth, and know the truth. There is nothing more I can really offer to you except to say to you that our lives matter. When I say our lives matter, I'm saying our time on the earth plane matters. How you use that time on this earth plane is important. Because we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey the natural laws of God. Hear me. I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about your path and the fact that you need to have that magical moment where you and spirit walk together, talk together, and plan together and execute all in the same breath. There's a clock ticking for each and every one of us. There is no death. But you do have a path to walk. You need to keep working on it. Every day, work on it. A little bit here, a little bit there. And before you know it, you're so far down the road, you've forgotten that you started 100 miles back. You can run that 26-mile marathon and not even know that you've hit a lick. It's important. That's what life is all about. And to what I have said, I'm going to add just one little thing. I always try to leave something for you to think about other than what I've said. I met a lady many years ago. Her grandmother was a spiritualist. She grew up a Baptist. But in her old age, 100, her question is, how will I know my husband when I pass on? Or how will he know me when I have decided it's time? The question is, spirit to spirit, we know. Understand that, likes attract. But her grandmother was a prolific writer of spirit presentation. And this is what she had to say. The lady's name, the writer, is Laura Smith Ellsworth. Life is a sacred privilege. Don't let the golden moments roll idly by. To work simply to accumulate money or worldly fame is a relic of barbaric times. Let the nobler impulses of the soul have full sway. Work with all the intensity of your soul to accomplish some task which in its fruition will bless the world and help make it purer, happier, and sweeter. Have a mission in life. Do not come and go as an ordinary man, but live high above the petty realms of self and be of value to the world, always looking to drive that cloud of truth deep through the fields of thought and make ready for the coming of great deeds soon to be wrought. Knowledge is the lever to use. Aggressive service is the power that will free the enslaved masses from the despots of the hour. Thank you for allowing me to serve Spirit.